Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video, we're going to break down some of the best tips and tricks to help save you money on your next Universal Orlando trip. So if you're in the process of planning a Universal vacation, and you are in the process of planning a Universal vacation and trying to get the most out of your budget, you're going to want to stick around until the end of this video, because we're going to break down some of the best tips and tricks that we have learned amongst these past couple of years. And if you do stick around till the end, I don't know, probably going to drop a promo code that you can go and use at our website, theparkprodigy.com. I'm really excited for this video, so let's go get started. Okay, so tip number one, and we would say plan to come during the off-peak time of year. Now, what you could pay attention to is the ticket prices. Specifically, the one-day ticket prices will fluctuate based on how busy Universal expects the parks to be. You can go check out our Universal Orlando crowd calendar on our website, and you'll see the one-day ticket prices for Disney anyway over there. But truthfully, Disney and Universal kind of keep their one-day prices within the same range. So again, pay attention to the ticket pricing. As you see the ticket pricing come down, as you see some really cheap ticket pricing, then we expect lower crowds. Again, that's just one of the ways to save a couple bucks. Pay attention to the ticket pricing. Not only will visiting during the off-season save you on the tickets, but also on the hotels. You'll find the best deals during the off-peak time of year. So you really want to pay attention to, hey, how busy does Universal expect the parks to be, and try to take advantage of those really, really slow seasons. Okay, so tip number two, and we would say consider staying at a Universal Orlando resort. Now, this is going to be useful and helpful no matter which hotel tier you decide to stay at. Universal has 3 different tiers, and even all the way from the value resorts all the way up to the premier resorts, there's going to be a benefit of staying at all of them. Specifically with the value resorts or any of the Universal Orlando resorts across the board, is you're going to get free transportation. So that means you don't have to worry about renting a car, you don't have to worry about coming and paying the parking fees, right? So just take advantage of that, save you a couple bucks. Then taking it one step further, when you look at the premier resorts, you can get some free express passes by staying at a premier resort. Now, you have to crunch the numbers, to figure out, okay, what is the one-day pricing, or what is the multi-day pricing for the Universal Express Pass? How much are we paying to upgrade our room to stay at a premier resort? And does it make sense? But what we have found is in a lot of cases, it does make sense. Also, if you are looking at the Express Pass, just a quick little tip on top of that, go and check out the combo tickets, which can be another great way to save a couple bucks here at Universal Orlando. Okay, so tip number 3 of the best ways to save money at Universal Orlando, and we would say buy your park tickets in advance. Now, this is going to be true no matter if you plan to get your tickets from Universal Orlando directly, or if you plan to team up with a company like the Park Prodigy. The ticket prices here at the park gates are always going to be more expensive, and I would say probably even a little bit more important is you're going to waste time. You're going to have to come and figure out, what type of ticket do you need. That's why we always recommend to get a feel before you come. Figure out, hey, what is the best fit ticket for me? And then you can get some amazing benefits. If you do team up with a company like the Park Prodigy, you'll get some free park plans to all of our customers. It just pays to get your tickets out of the way before you get down here, and you'll save a couple bucks. All right, so tip number 4 of different ways to save money at Universal, and we would say bring a reusable water bottle, or go ahead and purchase a Freestyle Coke cup here at Universal Orlando. Now, for the Freestyle cup, essentially it's going to be a flat fee to buy the cup, and then you'll get free refills throughout the day. Also, if you do have an old cup, you can add a couple of recharges onto it, and a good tip to do is to buy the recharges before you come to the park, and you'll save an extra couple bucks that way as well. Outside of that, going back to the reusable water bottle, it's July as I'm recording this video. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and it is really hot. You have to stay hydrated when in the parks. When I worked for Disney, they would tell us that you have to drink a 12-ounce bottle of water for every hour that you're outside. So you can tell that's a lot of water, but it's very, very important. You got to stay hydrated. So this is a great tip to save a couple bucks while you're being responsible and you stay hydrated throughout your day. Okay, so tip number 5 of ways to save on your next Universal trip, and this might seem like an obvious one, but we have to mention it, and take advantage of deals that Universal might be running on everything. Now, a couple of the deals that come to mind, specifically on hotel and vacation packages, Universal recently ran a deal where it was essentially when you buy 5 nights or more, you'll get a very special discounted rate starting at $99 per person per day. So definitely keep an eye out on vacation package deals like that. Ticket deals at the beginning of this year, again, Universal ran a deal where it was buy 3, get 2 days free. Moving into the parks, now for Universal Mardi Gras, Universal had a lanyard, which was essentially a flat fee that would get you a set amount of drinks and food items throughout the park during that day. Another way to save a couple bucks. And then last but certainly not least, when you're shopping in the parks, if you buy a $250 Universal gift card at this point in time, you'll get a free non-interactive wand. So that's just another way, hey, if your kids want a wand, Harry Potter wand, then you know that you're gonna budget a couple bucks for merchandise. That's a great way to take advantage of that. But overall, as you can see, now I can't guarantee that these deals will always be there. However, we just wanna say, make sure you look, because more times than not, especially with Universal over Disney, Universal's probably gonna be running a deal and you could definitely take advantage of it. Okay, so tip number 6 of different ways to save money when visiting Universal Orlando, and we would say bring some snacks and bring your own lunch. Now, Universal does not have any restrictions on bringing microwavable or food that does not need to go into a fridge, right? You can bring some small snacks. Specifically, you can bring some sandwiches into the park as well, and bringing your own lunch will just allow you to avoid having to buy lunch and meals inside the park. Now, another great tip and trick is to maybe just plan one meal inside the park and do breakfast back at the hotel. Now, there are some restrictions as far as some of the bags you can bring in, so I definitely recommend going to take a look at those restrictions. However, I bring snacks into the park all the time, and I think it's a great way to save a couple bucks and avoid paying the expensive theme park food prices. Okay, so tip number 7 of different ways to save money at Universal, and we jump back over to tickets, but this is specifically for families who are planning to visit more than one day. Now, you might expect that when you plan to stay a couple days, it's gonna get more expensive, but on a per day basis, you will actually save if you bundle your tickets and buy a multi-day ticket. That's right, so the more days you go up, the less you pay per day. So we always recommend to figure out exactly how many days you plan to be in the park, figure out the validity window right from the start date, and if you're gonna be here a couple days, definitely buy a multi-day ticket because you're gonna save a couple of bucks. Not only that, but it allows you, let's say if you're going for the park-to-park ticket, you'll be able to, the park-to-park ticket is pretty much a flat fee right across the board for all the days, so you can take advantage of that benefit for all the days. A lot of folks think that, hey, maybe I only wanna use the park-to-park one day. You're not gonna overpay if you pay for one day or if you get it for 3 days, right? So you might as well take advantage of it and just get a little bit familiar with the ticket options so you don't overpay. Okay, so if you're a family that loves cherishing the memories you spent together here on your vacation, you're definitely going to want to take a look at the Universal photos. Now, specifically because you'll get a ton of value out of it. Now, photos around the park are going to range, pretty much they're going to be right around 20 bucks, could be a little bit more. However, with the Universal photo plan, what you'll see is that for one day, you're going to get, starts at 75 bucks, but there's over 30 locations amongst the 3 parks. So you could see on a 3-day Universal photo plan, it's going to be $95. So when you just break it down like that, 95 for a couple days, over 30 locations, and then you compare it to $20 per photo. I mean, it's a no-brainer, especially if you love taking the photos back. Just another great way to save a couple bucks while on your vacation. Okay, so tip number 9 of different ways to save money on your Universal Orlando vacation, and we would say get groceries delivered to your hotel. So this is a really cool feature that we love using when we come down to Orlando, specifically because usually we come down for a while, right? And we don't want to spend all that crazy money on the, like we said, the theme park price food. So what we do is we'll order groceries, and you could do this a couple different ways. You can order your groceries and schedule it in advance before you even fly down to Orlando, or on this most recent trip over at Universal, we actually did Instacart, and we got it from Publix, which is a pretty well-known grocery store here in Orlando. A couple of quick notes that I will mention: they will not be able to leave the groceries at the front desk, because that's a little different if you've been going over to Disney and you take advantage of this benefit. Disney, some of the hotels might allow you to leave the groceries at the front desk. Universal will not. So what actually happened to us, we didn't know that, and I learned on the fly. I actually had to cancel the order and we had to replace it. Now, with that being said, I was able to place it within the same day, and Instacart got me the groceries within 2 to 3 hours. It was pretty incredible. So this doesn't have to be something, like I said, you can do it in advance, but this could be something when you get down here and you just do it on the fly and you'll save a couple bucks, and we think it's a great way to save some money on your next Universal trip. Okay, so tip number 10 of different ways to save money in the parks, and we would say essentially anything that you can bring from home that you might need here in the parks, such as ponchos, sunglasses, suntan lotion, sunscreen, right? All that good stuff. Anything that you think would be more expensive in the parks that you might need, bring it, because you'll save a couple bucks that way. Specifically ponchos. Ponchos can be really expensive in the parks. If you're visiting Universal in the summer, it's known to rain in Florida almost every day. Doesn't matter what time of day you come. At some point of the day, it's going to rain, but yeah, listen, only for 20, 30 minutes in most cases. So just be prepared. Couple ways to save a couple extra bucks. Okay, so keeping the good time rolling, and now this is for all the families that might only be coming to Universal for 1 day or 2 days, or they're not sure what their plans are, but they might add some days on later when they get to the park. Make sure that you upgrade your ticket before you leave the theme park. The reason being is you will take advantage of those discounted, multi-day prices that we just discussed. So if you upgrade your ticket from a 2-day to a 3-day before you leave the park, you'll get the 3-day pricing, which we just discussed, allows you to save money on a per day basis. But if you leave the park, then come back the next day and you buy that 1-day ticket, you're gonna end up overspending. Not only that, you're not gonna be able to upgrade your ticket after the ticket expires. So it's very, very important that you do make those upgrades before you leave the park. It's the same thing, let's say on vacation, there's always unforeseen circumstances, right? Let's say that you have to cut your vacation short. Always go to customer service before you leave to talk to them about any type of credit or refund that they might be able to give. Now, Universal very, very adamantly does not give refunds, right? But from a credit standpoint or on an unused ticket, yes, you might be able to get a refund. From a credit standpoint on unused tickets, if you really, ask them politely, right? The most important thing is be respectful to the team members because they just want to help. Then you might be able to get yourself a credit on the unused days, and that's just another tip that we find very, very helpful. Okay, so tip number 12, and last but not least, of different ways to save money at Universal Orlando, and we would say take advantage of early park admission and have a game plan coming into your day here in the parks. Now, the main reason is because the less time you spend in the parks, the less money you're gonna spend in the parks. Very simply, early park admission is such a great way to get a ton done in a short amount of time, and that allows you to go back, spend some time at the hotels. That also just allows you to get through the parks quicker, and you might need less days in the parks, but I mean overall you're just going to save some time, which is really time is money, as the saying goes. We love it. We think it's a great way to get the most out of your time, a great way to just spend a little bit less time in the parks. Also, if you're not getting your tickets from the Park Prodigy, just have a game plan. Make sure you come into your days with just an itinerary, knowing exactly what to do, when to do it, and you'll just have a ton of fun and you won't have to worry about wasting time or money on your next Universal vacation. So that is the list, everyone. Those are some of the best ways to save money on your Universal Orlando vacation. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. Thank you again so much for sticking around to the end. If you did find this video helpful, and it does seem like you want more videos like this as you get ready for your Universal Orlando trip, be sure to subscribe to our channel, as we have so many more videos just like this coming out at both Universal Orlando and at Walt Disney World. Again, thank you all again so much. I think that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.